the first thing I remember ever deciding that I wanted to do, I was 20 years old and I was 1975, and I was passing through Eugene, Oregon, and I saw a dancer at a Renaissance festival. And it hit me right between the eyes. And all I could say was, I want to do that. I never remembered wanting to do anything else before then. And I spent a couple of years running around trying to find some way to learn it. You know, there weren't teachers. It was impossible. I bought Darlena's book, How to Belly Dance. And we were making a teepee to live in. I was a total hippie flower child. And we were making a teepee, and we were building that to live in. And I bought this book at the health food store, and I had it. And I never heard the music. Only saw the one girl once. And I was out there learning how to belly dance from her.
Wow.
And then, lucky for me, Yasmina, who is Shelley Nolan, or Shelley Muzzy now, she's one of the old Ball and Knot original people, and she was in Bellingham, and she had the group Brusada Dance Troupe, and so the minute I saw them, I found the way to start being able to take lessons. It changed my whole life. I'm sure it saved me, and I never looked back. And all I ever wanted to do was have everything to do with belly dance for the rest of my life, such as it is or isn't. The actual dance itself is, I don't need to tell you what it is. It's wonderful. Like I said, it changed me from, I don't know what I would have become, probably some burned out drug addict or something, but I walked away from all of that stuff. I went to school to learn to be a fashion designer. I was lucky enough to be sponsored, like I said, by that countess. And I got a job in a nightclub. So I was fashion student by day, belly dancer by night.
And did you eventually dance in Egypt?
You know, I didn't ever dance here. I was so aware of the opinion and the regard for belly dancers by the time I got here that I just I couldn't do it because of the disrespect and the fact that they need you to have sex with somebody to get that job, and I just
No.
no.
Not gonna happen.
You know, I've been a lot of things, but I've never been nobody can buy me. You can't even rent me. So that wouldn't have worked because there's not very many people here that can work without.
So did you move here in Egypt because of the costume making?
Yes, I did.
Right.
I was married to, like I said, a very famous musician, and he needed a green card, so he rode me hard for 5 years, and when he got his green card, he dumped me, and I was in love with him. I was so in love with that guy, and it broke my heart, and I wanted to die. And I said to myself, okay, what are you going to do? He not only left, but he took everything and left me completely broke with a lot of debt that he ran out. Okay, so there I was. And I thought to myself, I said, I want to die, I don't want to live. And I said, okay, what are you going to do? What's your wildest dream? And I said, I want to go to Egypt and make belly dance costumes for Dina. I said, it's either that or suicide. What are you going to do? I said, what the hell? I have nothing to lose. I felt I'd lost everything. I had nothing to be afraid of. And it took me about 2 years of living out of the suitcase, and I moved here, and here I am. And boy, it wasn't easy.
So what year did you move here into Cairo?
2000. You know,
So
I was
15
still
years.
in the States a little bit then, but, you know, I was full-time by 2001. Right after 9/11, I was here all the time. I moved here and never went back. I have not been back to America for
Mhm.
6 years now.
So when you came to Cairo in 2000, what was the dance scene like then?
Well, it was, you know, there were a lot more things going on, but it was dying.
It was already started.
Well, part of the problem is that, you know, the tourist connection, the younger Arabs are not going to nightclubs. They're not really looking for this kind of entertainment anymore. They're more interested in discos and stuff like that. You know, here in Egypt, I didn't work. I know some people who did work. Most of the foreign girls were working on, you know, the boats or something like that. They weren't working in the real nightclubs. So I can't really say that I know the nightclub scene here really great. I did have a couple of friends that worked here professionally that I dragged around with and went to provas and got to see their nightclub shows and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And
So were you in the beginning designing mostly for them, for these dancers that you knew?
I had somewhat of a following. I've been doing costumes since 1980. So I had some people from America, and then my first client here was Dina.
So you obviously are creative to create these kinds of costumes. I mean, unbelievable eye for things. Do you think your creative impulse was more fulfilled as a dancer or creating the costumes?
I love dancing. I quit because I married Mustafa, and he took me off the stage. It was like going cold turkey off of heroin
Wow.
when I quit. I shook for a year.
So you stopped dancing for love.
Well, it was love on my part. I don't know what it was on his part. It was how he looked to his friends, I guess, but was strange because everybody except me knew that he only married me for a green card, so I don't know why it mattered, but that was how it was. And I became a Muslim for him. I never did tell my mother. She's dead now, so although my sister, if she saw it, she'll kill me. You know, and I tried to be a Muslim, and I found out they just didn't even give a shit about me. I was a means to an end, and that was all it was. And he got what he wanted, and I walked out of there, and I figured, you have North America, I'll just move to Africa. And it's worked out really well.
I'm sure.
You know.
So when you get your ideas like this costume, the one that's like a Monet, or any of these costumes here, each one comes from like an inspiration from you see something, or
Some of them like that, yes. Some of them like that. I had pieces of material and a dress dummy. These days, I don't know where it comes from. You can see how I do it. I take the dress dummy and I say, oh, I like this piece of material.
and you just play around until
I
it
just
comes
make
together.
this stuff. I don't know what's going to happen until it's done.
When you're doing it, does it feel like you're in some kind of creative zone, sort of? Or is that too pretentious?
No, well, you can, I mean, it could sound, all that stuff sounds pretentious until you experience it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is it's like, I won't say that I feel personally responsible for my genius, because it just comes through you. And anybody that has that, it's like being connected to, a giant power grid or something, and when you plug into it, it's just there, and I don't feel like it's me that can take credit for that. It's just that for some reason I'm connected like that, and this is what comes out. This is how I've used it. It's weird. But belly dancing, when I found that, whatever it is about that is what connected me completely. And then because I was doing fashion design, I was good at it, and I do have a degree, I was trained, I can sew, I know how, tell them not to, I know how. Then I combined them because what I was working as a dancer, that's how I put myself through school, and people said, "Where'd you get that?" I made it myself. Will you make me one? And here I am. Because, you know, it's especially in those times, it was like people made their own stuff.
Yeah.
You couldn't buy anything.
Yeah.
And then, right about, 1980, 85, we started to get some dribbles of costuming from Egypt and stuff like that, and there was a hope, but I still had to make my own because I could never afford them, because I was always working for myself. I really haven't had a regular job.
Mm-hmm.
I worked as a makeup artist for a long time, and small freelance type stuff. So, the inspiration for this kind of stuff, it's just, it's whatever you see, or a piece of material, or a weird necklace, or, anything. It's everywhere. I have a problem with too much, because of my brain, and she knows it. It's like if too much gets shoved in my face, I freak out, especially now that I've got sugar mania, because I'm just screaming, because I'm Italian too. So,
Oh.
yeah, whoops. So, anything. I don't even know anymore what I'm going to do until I sit down.
Mm-hmm.
I know what they eat, unless it's like I work for Japan, they like me. Japanese like quality.
Yes.
Thank you, Japan. And like for them, they're in love with all of these lace costumes.
Mm-hmm.
These little chiffon lace things. So they send me pictures and go, can we have this again? Can we have this again? Can we have this again? So we have a lot of stuff that we do for them that's in that genre.
Mm-hmm.
And of course everybody's trying to figure out how does she do it and how can I copy it. And
Do you feel as an artist that you have an unlimited, I know I consider myself a choreographer more than a dancer, and I feel copy me all the time, but I used to bother me a lot, and then I realized it doesn't really matter, copy me all you want, because next year I can come up with a new idea that no one else can come up with. Do you feel that you have it's never going to end, the artistic sort of inspiration, so you don't have to worry?
It's kind of like what I want is I'd like them all to just fuck off, actually, with the copy and get their own goddamn ideas.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Because like I said, I have a lot of people who depend on me. We spend our money on decent working conditions and a living wage for these people, respect and pride in their work.
Right.
And that's what I spend my money on. And I would like to have them leave me alone so that we can make enough money that we can all continue with what we're doing here. We've got kids going into college, we've got stuff coming up, people, look at this place, look at the economy, look at the mess. And it's like, when we just get ripped off and people are buying this cheap stuff, it's not good for the environment, and it's inhumane for the people that are doing it, because they're being used, and I don't believe in